Coming up on the Fish Hunt Forever podcast.
We didn't agree with it. You could see the frustration and arguments on a lot of the anglers.
I don't want to put you in a weird position, but I have some, from an outsider's perspective, I have some strong feelings about the National Walleye Tour.
Yes, we were telling them, like, hey, we're not dummies here.
Do you like the early teal season? Should we keep doing it? And honestly, no.
I've got a few other choice words. I don't know.
This is the Fish Hunt Forever podcast, formerly Sporting Journal Radio, presented by OnX. Know where you stand with OnX. And that's right. Don't forget, you can save 20% off a new membership with OnX by using the code SJR20, which we got to get that updated, FHF20, I think. Right? Probably makes sense. Welcome to the show. I'm Bret Amundsen. That's David Eckhart. That you heard over there. David, how's it going?
It's going good.
See, this is what happens when you're here a couple weeks in a row. You get billing over Dan. You get introduced before Dan.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
That's fine. Well, I mean, if I don't want to trash on you too much here to start the show, so we'll just go on our merry way.
A lot to get to. Drake Hurd is going to join us. He got screwed in the NWT Championship.
Oh, see, this is why David needed to be introed before me, because I can't even get my own audio levels right, so I can trash myself. So, you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Well, we're going to hear from Drake and get his opinion on what happened in Green Bay and how that might change things in the future. We'll talk about, how he feels about Bassmaster changing some of the rules for forward-facing sonar with the elites next year, and how that might affect the NWT, how that might affect his fin gear business, where he's manufacturing live scope poles, graph mounts, rails, things like that. He's coming up. Also, Joe Henry will join us to talk about what's going on at Lake of the Woods right now. Fall, a lot of people think of fall as, yes, fishing is good. Hunting seasons are starting. Kids are going back to school.
Thanks for laughing, David.
It's a transition time. But it's also one of those times where you can do a lot of different things up at Lake of the Woods. We're going to talk about all of those coming up later in the show. Plus, we got to pick some more winners from people that are commenting on Spotify, also on YouTube. And we got a new film coming out this weekend that we'll tell you about. But first...
So I'd like to first point out, can we take a moment to recognize Tiny's Pavlovian or whatever dog syndrome she's got going on here? She's just sitting there just being a great dog.
Been fine all day.
And we start the podcast, we hit the intro, and she
finds a bone to
all over David right now. It's not on camera, but she is. You could probably invite her up on your lap there, and she took your place on the show one week, actually.
She would jump right
here.
up.
I'll bring her up over here. Come on.
Oh, boy.
Come here. There we go. Oh.
Yeah, she is on another level right now, just because.
Just amped.
I don't know. She hears the intro and she's like, "All right, I got to make this about me because I'm Tiny."
Disrupt.
So this week's show is brought to you by Tiny.
She loves being on camera.
Yeah, no, but for real, this week's show is brought to you by Lake of the Woods Tourism. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world. Plan a fishing trip to Lake of the Woods at lakeofthewoodsmn.com. OnX Hunt. See private land boundaries, offline maps, and more. Take 20% off a new membership with the code SJR20. Haybell Heights Camper and Resort. Fish Devil's Lake this summer at Haybell Heights. Learn more at haybellheights.com. Tasman Lake Lodge. Catch world record lake trout and giant pike at Saskatchewan's Tasman Lake. Learn more at tasmanlake.com. Prairie Sportsman new season is over. Watch episodes anytime. The Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel. Tiny needs to go outside. And Trails End Outfitters Trophy Bear, Walleye, and Whitetail in Saskatchewan. Visit trailsendoutfitters.com.
That's right. Don't forget to visit our store. This is the first time I've worn a brand new Blaze Orange Fish Hunt Forever hoodie.
Wow.
Looks pretty sweet.
Where's that button?
Bang it. Wow. Thank you. Score.
Wow.
You can score yours at the Fish Hunt Forever store. Just go to fishhuntforever.com, click on store, and we'll give away some gift certificates to our store too, including to somebody that comments on our YouTube or Spotify. We also have one more DRC call that we're going to give away. I believe this week it was going to be the Squeaker Tweaker, right? Last week was the Psycho.
About your pants, dog.
So this is the camel patterned Fish Hunt Forever themed Squeaker Tweaker from DRC Calls, Corey Loeffler and the DRC Call Company. We're going to give that away to Brian Wickman, who commented on Spotify. Brian Wickman, reach out to us, send us a message, and we will get you this call sent out. Nope. Just a call.
Oh.
And also on our YouTube channel, Tara Fishing commented a couple of times last week on our YouTube podcast. Thank you very much, Tara. Send us a message, and we're going to get you $50 to the Fish Hunt Forever store, where you can get your very own, well, not this hat, but who's wearing one, Dan?
Me.
Dan's got one.
Yeah, why isn't David wearing one?
Got an Onyx.
Got the Onyx hat representing the sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
We sold one of these today, by the way.
We did, to Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He paid for it on Lake of the Woods Tourism. It was brought to you by Lake of the Woods Tourism. So, Planet Fishing Trip at lakeofthewoods.com.
So get yourself, we're almost out of those hats, by the way. So just a couple more of those old school camo hats available in the store if you want to get one before they're gone. It's a limited run. Pick up yours now in the Fish Hunt Forever store at fishhuntforever.com.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there.
We do have those sun shirts that David's
Yeah,
wearing. We do have those in the store still.
I like these shirts.
Those are great. I love them because they're lightweight. And if you don't want to get, chewed up by mosquitoes or flies that bug you when it's warm out, you can wear one of those. They're UPF to 50 sun protection.
Douse them in permethrin if you want bug repellent. They're not bug proof, but they're sun proof.
Right,
But
correct.
they keep them off
but
your skin.
They'll keep them off your skin.
They keep them off your skin, but there's no guarantees what that skeeter's little stupid long nose is going to get through. This year, anything's on the table for what a stupid mosquito is going to do.
They're bad.
Yeah.
I levitated today because they picked me up a little bit, and it was stupid. Duck hunting in September is so fun.
Oh, gosh. They're so bad right now.
You could have been working this morning.
So bad.
I was,
outside.
David. Actually, I was. I just
Yeah,
chose
but you were still
different-
hunting.
I chose a different job and profession than you. That's your own fault.
That Adam Sandler fart noise, I keep thinking it's just you making that noise
Yeah.
over there because I can't see
all
your
right, I'll see
face.
you guys there.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I was kind of hoping after that cold front last weekend that the mosquitoes would be gone, and I saw somebody share on Facebook some blue-green algae that they saw this week, so you still have to be a little bit careful out there in the water, especially with your dogs out there, so watch out for all that. We're not out of summer's grasp quite yet.
No.
Going to talk more NWT, but congratulations to Tom Wynn. I just wanted to mention that, and we should do some headlines. How about that?
Where's that button?
Right about there. Headlines are brought to you by Trails and Outfitters, guided whitetail, guided black bear in the spring, open water fishing on Tobin Lake, ice fishing on Tobin Lake. Go to trailsandoutfitters.com to find out more. All right, the DNR wants to employ you for some citizen science. So they're hunters and anglers have been saying, hey, DNR, listen to us. We're out there all the time. This is what we're seeing. This is your chance to tell the DNR what you're seeing out there. They're asking for bear sightings as Minnesota's black bear range has been slowly expanding southward and westward. Someone just saw a black bear close by here. I know we see one every spring.
There was one this summer.
We'll see them around here in western, southwestern Minnesota. We'll usually see a young male in the spring as they're getting kicked out of their areas, but someone just saw one here this fall. And bobcat not too far away, which I know the occasional bobcat runs Minnesota River Valley, but pretty interesting. The DNR is trying to better document the expansion of black bear in Minnesota, so they need your help. And this is one thing I will give the DNR credit for, because you can go and report your sighting, and there's a map that you can look to see where other bear sightings are. They turn that off during bear hunting season.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the same thing for elk. They want to know where the elk are to see if they're expanding from their range, and they turn that off during the elk season, even though there's only 4 people hunting elk this year. But,
Actually.
four non-tribal members hunting elk this year. The DNR the way the DNR estimates wildlife populations differs between deer and other species. The deer hunter observations will serve as another check against any estimates. I just should not be reading what the DNR writes on their website because it's written in DNR speak. So right now there's a survey available just to bow hunters, because bow hunters are sitting in a tree for maybe 3 months out of the year. They're able to see a lot more deer than just a gun hunter is out there. Now this expands on that. So if you're out there seeing deer, they want to know what you're seeing out there. There's also an upland bird hunter field log. Now, this log allows you to share your daily observations of upland birds and help broaden the DNR's knowledge about the birds you see in harvest. You can also report specific information about any upland birds harvested. And we have all that info on our website, Dan?
Yep. Sure. Yeah, fishhuntforever.com.
Sure do.
As log entries are compiled, they'll share the results annually and use them to compare what hunters see to population estimates that the DNR uses as a baseline for managing wildlife. So they're just trying to be more accurate in their counts. And I can see some people like, I'm not telling the DNR where I saw that buck.
Which is so funny
That ain't happening.
because it's going to be the same people that'll see one of the news releases come out that's like, blue-winged teal up 60 or down 60%. Well, that's just BS. The stupid DNR doesn't know what they're talking about. Well, then here's your chance.
Yeah.
You don't get to complain when you have the chance to help them formulate the numbers and you don't help them. So
they're also looking for sightings of wild turkeys and pheasant broods. So if you're seeing them in the spring, they want to know about it. They also have the window on wildlife. This is kind of interesting. They set up a trail cam or a webcam, I guess, that you can log into and look at any time, overlooking a DNR wildlife managed food plot on the Hubble Pond WMA in Becker County. This is a 3,500 acre WMA. Like, this is pretty good size. There's a 560 acre Hubble Pond marsh there. This is about 11 miles from Detroit Lakes. So there's numerous wetlands, the Ottertail River, a designated trout lake, and miles of hunter walking trails. That's a popular WMA near DL. 3,500 acres, and you can log in at any time and check out a webcam. So it's almost like looking at the fish pond, only you might see a deer.
yeah, so if I see something on the camera, then I can just and go walk in there and go hunt or what? Like, is that legal or
Let's see if there's anything.
is that a gray area?
Well, there's nothing in the food plot right now.
Oh.
But they got corn planted there, and then they planted beans, but also a cover crop consisting of 5 species mix of brassicas, turnips, radish, and rapeseed was interseeded into the beans on August 1st. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm sure once the hunting season starts, probably bow hunting or gun season, the deer season, I bet they'll turn this off.
What if somebody's tree stands right there? And so like opening day of deer season, we could just go on there and watch this guy hunt. Like,
Yeah.
Just Joe Blows just smoking cigarettes.
Watch a
up there.
guy climb a tree.
Yeah, just smokes an 8-pointer, and we all get to watch it on the YouTube channel. Be kind of sweet. But I might go hang a stand there. Free content.
One other thing I noticed, I don't know if this is new or not, but they have a deer camp and hunting photo uploader, and they also have a wildlife photo uploader. So they want you to upload pictures of your deer camp or, the deer that you shoot or any wildlife that you see. Have you guys ever seen this or heard of this before?
No.
The one thing I will say about it is that gives them the ability to use those pictures for whatever.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So, I mean, sure, they might share your picture, and if you don't care, give it to them. It just might end up on their Facebook page or on their regulations handbook or something.
Well, yeah.
And it does. I mean, it means the DNR is not spending money to go take a picture, which is, any way you can save money.
They'll find a way to.
They also have the Adopt a Trail camera, and I just closed up the window that had that.
Yeah!
Talk amongst yourselves.
Working on a little video there?
You can help the DNR monitor wildlife populations by adopting a trail camera in targeted research areas southeast of Mille Lacs and directly south of Park Rapids. This is part of the DNR's continual effort to evaluate potential improvements to the methods it uses to monitor and estimate wildlife populations. Now, results of this study are used to monitor fox, wolves, bobcats, raccoons, fishers, and other fur bearers, and will be used to assess the feasibility of establishing a statewide camera-based wildlife survey network. Well, you know what? Honestly, all those predators that are raiding nests and stuff like that, let's find them and manage them.
There are a lot of raccoons around.
Check out this video of a raccoon that I got on this trail camera the other day. I thought this was kind of funny. I had a couple of them. It's kind of dark because it was 8 o'clock at night, but if you look, he's standing on his hind legs.
It looks like he's about to fall over.
Yeah, he's just looking around like, doo-doo-doo. I just thought that was funny.
Looking over the grass.
Because what he's trying to do is, I've had a couple raccoons on this camera, and they climbed up on the camera at one point, but they're trying to reach up to that rope that's hanging there.
I have a rope as well, but mine's lower, and there'll be 5-6 raccoons playing with it
Yeah.
every night in the fall. It's like, get out of here.
Well, I haven't put any scent on that rope. Somebody asked me the other day what scent I put on the rope, and it's from the golden rope from wildlife research people. But
Center.
Thank you. But I haven't put anything on it this year, but I've got deer. In fact, this buck didn't sniff the rope, but I just want to put this one because this is the new Spy Point Force 24, and I've been sharing some of these videos on social media, on Snapchat and Instagram. It's a 2K video. Now, it's a non-cell camera, which I prefer cell cameras if I can help it, but what I like about this one is it's a $50 trail camera, and the video quality is really good, and there's actually sound. There's not much for sound on this one, but this little buck just showed up just yesterday. I think that video is from this morning. The buck just finally showed up. Hadn't seen him before, so bucks are starting to move. That's the second new buck I've seen in the last couple of days, small one. But I wanted to see how that camera performed in the fog because it was real foggy this morning, and I thought that was pretty impressive. And the sound I think is really neat. I got this video of a fawn, and you have to listen close, but at the very end,
well,
we're not going to have sound.
I have some bad news for our listeners.
We're not going to get the sound.
I didn't know that was part of the bit.
Oh,
but we can watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it. And then I had it on social media, but he gives a little bleat at the very end. Just a little.
David, recreate it here.
Oh,
right now.
Me.
Nice.
Something like that right there. But I thought that video quality was pretty good. And then that fawn comes and checks out the rope in this next video. So
he makes some noise here right now. Me. Man, isn't that amazing?
That smells like mom.
He's saying,
there you go. Sound effects by Dave. So now anybody that buys a Force 24, you have to go with and provide all the sound effects
the background
in their
noise.
videos.
Yeah, there we go.
We do have a affiliate link through Amazon for that camera. So if you do decide you want to buy one, we'd love it if you helped us out, and we'll put that link in the description of this YouTube video below. Spy Point
you
is
have to remind me to do that.
All right. Hey, Dan. Put that link in there.
Later, please.
It is deer season, David. Have you been seeing some buck movement like I have?
Yeah. Had a couple good ones show up this week.
Oh, really? Where was that at? Was that can you just drop me a pin?
The coordinates of Nunya and the corner of Nunya Business.
So you've been seeing it. I did see one good one. It wasn't on my property, but it was close. But we have so much standing corn. It's like a jungle form out there right now. It's
going to be green food plots, evenings, and it's going to be hot and buggy this weekend. Yeah. But I'll be in a tree. The wind is wrong for all my stands. Yeah. Not happy about it. We're getting more and more southeast winds, so I specifically make some sets for early season. How are your food plots doing? The stuff I got in the spring, the corn and beans, that stuff looks really good, but we've had so much rain that I had to no-till my fall plots, and they got them in late, and they're short. So I wish I would have got them in a couple weeks earlier, especially no-till, but they're coming. In the past, you've put up fences around some of your food plots, haven't you? I do have one, that I need to get down before Saturday. The opener on Saturday. What kind of a fence? Like electric fence? Just electric fence. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any soybeans. The deer mow them off when they're little. How tall? I mean, deer can jump. Like what's the fence look like? I have 3 strands, 2, one low or one midway, and then 2 at the top. But a lot of guys will do 2 fences because the deer can't judge their depth perception to see how far away it is. But old Dr. Watts has been keeping the deer out of them soybeans. Dr. Watts. You also, I think last year, planted a fence, a living fence, didn't you? The tall Egyptian wheat. Yep. Did you do that again? I had corn on that side this year, so that works too. It worked, yeah. How tall is your corn? Some of it's 8 feet. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. We got that here too. Depends. Some of it's in a low ground, so it kind of drowned out and short going in and out of there. But did it grow any corn? Oh yeah. Yeah, there's ears. How are you? I mean, we had so many storms around here. If you look at the crops around here, they're all in pretty rough shape. Did you deal with hail and wind? No hail. Some of it is goosenecked from the wind, and now the raccoons have found that soft corn, so they've torn down one of my food plots pretty well, but it's pretty level. Wait, there he is again. It's like a mongoose. They're like little bears. Steve, Ellen, Steve. So this brings up a problem for waterfowl hunters. And we've already heard of one farmer that has kids who waterfowl hunt, that his corn was in trouble. So they just took it down, and they're going to do whatever they're going to do with it. But now they got a cornfield they can hunt because they weren't going to be able to sell. Or what
what is going on with these fields, and what is it going to mean for goose hunters?
It depends if they just mowed it or if they actually combined it for, wet corn for feed or something like that. Then you can hunt it. But if it's just mowed or disked under, then I think it's technically a baited field.
Because that means all the corn stayed in the field.
Right. None of it was harvested.
So the key is going to be combines rolling through the field.
Yeah.
For everything, pretty much. For bean fields.
Yep.
Because I know some of the bean fields around here, the beans are all just laying on the ground. This got
all that hail.
Yeah.
The Great White Combine leveled her.
So as long as the combine's going through there, we should be okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So how many people, though, are going to be driving around in an area? Just they don't know the area. Get permission on a field, and then I guess you set up in the morning and you see corn cobs on the ground or bean pods on the ground, and you got to leave or what?
I guess it'd be on them to ask the farmer what they did, if they picked it, or if it just got plowed under.
So pro tip this year for all field hunters to make sure they ask that question when they ask permission, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. I think that's a dumb rule personally, because it falls under normal farming practices, if you ask me, and that's always been kind of the thing we go on to hunt ag fields.
Right.
And it is tough because, obviously that farmer didn't do it for a goose hunter. Like, I'm just going to knock all this corn off for the goose hunter.
Right. No farmer's ever said, what can I do to minimize my yield, to maximize the yield for goose hunter?
Right.
Ever.
It's a tough one. So if you're out there goose hunting, make sure you talk to that farmer before you go out there and ask him what he did with the grain that was in it. Make sure that it was, harvested, so that you don't run into a baiting type situation. And a couple of years ago, we had that preventative plant deal, which those fields became baited fields, and the geese loved them. The geese
I wonder why.
And that's because. So what happens when you get that? That's somebody planting a cover plot, essentially?
I suppose there was oats or wheat planted there, and then it was just plowed under when it had a seed head on it. So
lots of food.
Didn't get harvested.
Man, that's the worst. If you get a field like that and it attracts every goose in the county and nobody can hunt it.
It's just a refuge.
Yeah. So be careful while you're out there. There's your waterfowl tip, and we should do a filming tip here too, Dan. So maybe.
Oh, I cut it early. Sorry.
That's all right. Your filming tip for today involves trail cameras, and this is a pretty simple one. But if I can help it, I always point my trail cameras to the north, and that way you don't have to worry about getting blinded in the morning by a sun in the east or blinded by the sun in the west, and you have that sun passing behind you in the south in the sky. So kind of a basic one, but it's a good one particularly if you care about the quality of your photos or videos from your trail camera. If you don't care and you just want to see what deer are out there, as long as you can see it a little bit, then it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah, that's pretty simple trick to get clear pictures.
David,
follow the science.
You also started making your own camera stands.
Yep.
What do you try to do when you do that?
I have made the mistake of pointing them south, and then you either get whited out pictures where you can't see anything. Even if the sun doesn't set it off, if something goes in front of it, the sun's shining right behind them. So I just try to pick a good spot.
But as far as building one?
As far as height, I don't know. Try and keep it about waist height, through that 3-foot range. If you don't have a good tree to strap a camera to, then you can just have the advantage of putting them wherever you want.
And you're putting 3 legs on them.
Yep, 3 legs, adjustable head on them, and you can buy the same product. I just
you're David.
Build my own.
Building your own.
Why buy something when you can build?
Well, because I've got about 20 of them, so it's like rebar's cheap.
Yeah, you're just making them out of rebar, welding some pieces together, throwing some brackets on there, and making them adjustable. And then you also you support that tripod on the bottom with crossing bars, and then you can also use those to step on because you leave some to put into the ground.
Yeah, about 6 inches. Yeah, and then on the back I leave the one that's straight, that leg above the adjustable. So if you do need to pound it in with a hammer, you can. There's a spot to drive it in.
We probably should have used a picture. That's all right.
But this is a podcast. Majority of people consuming this content are either listening on the radio, thank you very much, or downloading the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Well, then you're going to be very disappointed about the next 30 seconds because we've got a brand new film coming to the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel, and this is what it looks like.
Yeah, kill him, guys. Kill him, Dad. Oh, nice job, bro. What just happened right there?
I don't know. This is 68 times 100, 56 times 100. I can't even talk. I'm almost out of shells.
Routine. Yeah. Routine. Nice shooting.
Routine.
Get ready, guys. This is the back. What do you got? Birds on the right.
Probably one of the best initial volleys I've ever had in my life in the first group of birds for the day. Only the good Lord knows how long each of us has. And if this is my last trip, I have no regrets.
All right. Well, if you were watching that, apparently I didn't resize the video very well.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if that was my fault resizing that into this thing or if that was your fault. But let's go with
Doesn't matter.
I'd blame you.
Either way, we've got a brand new film coming out Sunday night at 6 p.m. Now, this Sunday night at 6 p.m. is a strategic time for those of you out there because, if you are, the only issue is if you're bow hunting. You're going to be in a tree stand probably.
Just don't.
But if you're not
hot mosquito, we just don't.
And if you're watching football, well, it's right between the afternoon games and before the Sunday night Vikings game. So it's about a 50-minute film, 51 minutes. So you'll be able to watch it at 6 o'clock. That's when we're going to premiere it. And we're going to be chatting along. So watch it with us. Chat with us along. Go to the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel and watch Poplar Grove, the Lost Farm in Saskatchewan, Sunday night at 6 o'clock. And if you're like, well, I thought it was a snow goose hunt, you're wondering about that name,
watch and find out.
Well, there's that. Guess we could
but
just
no, you can say it. You should watch it and chat with us and hang out and be there right away at 6 o'clock.
That's right.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Our family had a farm in Saskatchewan called Poplar Grove, and it was a big grove of poplar trees.
Really?
And not just a clever name.
That how that came to be.
And we had never seen it. We didn't know where it was. So we had my dad, whose dad was born in Saskatchewan when they had that farm, and he didn't know where it was. So we went searching for it and had an unbelievable goose hunt, the best snow goose hunt I've been a part of. Probably the best snow goose hunt that any of us had been a part of. And the way it ends, Dan, we sat on that trip many times, and we show some of this in the video. We didn't show all of it in the video, but we had, I mean, we've snow goose hunted, we've got the gear, we kind of know what we're doing, but so many things just fell into place, almost like we were getting some help on that trip.
Well, my dad says it best on that video, the saying he'd been hearing leading up to that trip, and we all, I think, believe full-heartedly is God doesn't make mistakes and opens doors where you least expect it. And, I can't remember if we've told the story on this show or not, but I know we've told it to other people. The way we met Brandon Latane, the guy we hunted with, he didn't guide us. He just offered up his place to come up and hunt. And the people we met on that trip and, just the weather we had, the way the snow geese rolled through that area. I mean, everything went about as perfect as can be, and it's if you don't believe in God, we sure do, and it's trips like this that are part of why we believe it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. One
thing after another. I mean, even something as simple as like Brandon, offered us a place to stay, but then I'm like, hey, you can hunt with us if you like to hunt. He goes, I don't really hunt snow geese much. We don't really see snows at all. And I was really disappointed when he said that because that's what I wanted to hunt up there. And then right before we get there, he goes, snow geese are everywhere.
Never seen them like this before.
Yeah. And then I'm going to save the ending for the video, but the way the way the video ends, it's just to me. I mean, you just can't script it. You can't explain it.
Well, yeah, just the people we met, and that first night we were over there, and we started putting the pieces together and talking to some of the other locals that Brandon introduced us to, and we started telling the story of our family, and then they started pulling out maps. They're like, well, look, here's what we have, here's what we know, here's stories I remember. And we ran into a couple who, they started telling us about some things they knew, and you brought up the family and the family's old moose camp, and they're like, well, wait a second, this name? Well, I remember hearing stories of my family hunting with your family, and that moose camp. Oh, well, yeah,
that's our moose.
I know
camp.
that sign, and your dad's cousin Keith is the one who made that sign. I mean, it's like, it's unbelievable how all of this fell into place. I mean, Saskatchewan's a giant province. Canada's a giant country. Saskatchewan's a giant province. This is a giant world. There's a ton of us living in this world. It's real small, and God sure has us meet the people that He wants us to meet, and it's just. It's so cool. I could go on and on and on. And I know it's a podcast. We can go as long as we want on the show. But
well, it's an incredible trip.
Yeah.
And, we get to see some other friends of ours on that trip who we've known for a long time who have been just great to us. I mean, pretty much everybody we've ever dealt with in Saskatchewan has just been fantastic. And this trip will be hard to top.
I don't know if we ever will. I made the joke that day at the end of that hunt that I may never snow goose hunt ever again. Because, and our good friend Tony Crotty, he's like, only Dan would have the best day of hunting, the worst day of hunting and say he never wants to do it again, and then the best day of hunting and say he never wants to do it again.
He's not wrong.
It's one of those, it's like, I don't know how it's ever going to get any better. There's always a bigger fish to catch. There's always a bigger deer to shoot, but I really don't know how we ever top this day of waterfowl hunting. I'm going to go the rest of my life trying to do it. I'm not quitting, but...
And we may shoot more birds. I mean, we had an incredible day. The pile obviously was part of our happiness, but and enjoyment, but it wasn't the reason that. No. I mean, the main reason. It'll be one of the reasons.
Yeah, but to get to do it with the 6 people we had, with the connections we had, where we did it, I don't know. I don't think it'll ever happen where I think I'm going to look at that picture, and when somebody asks me the question, what's your favorite hunt you've ever had? And I hope when I'm 85, hopefully I'm still hunting, but if I'm not and I'm sitting in an old folks home, hopefully I get to remember it and show people that picture and then hit play on YouTube and show all the other old people in the old folks home that video.
And by that time, you'll just touch the air and YouTube.
Yeah, I'll get to play it out of my eyes or something.
Everybody stand back.
Read my mind. Please don't.
The reason he brought up 85 is because my 84-year-old dad came on that trip, and he's part of the reason why that hunt will be so memorable.
I'm not going to lie. I just kind of pulled that number out. I didn't really think about that when I said it, but you're right.
I had a great transition. I'm a pro at this. I had a great transition, and you ruined it.
Sorry.
Watch the video. Sunday night at 6 p.m. with us on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel. It's called Poplar Grove, the Lost Farm in Saskatchewan. It'll probably list it as Unbelievable Snow Goose Hunt or something like that.
Are we going to give away some prizes to some people who are commenting and whatnot and hanging out with us at 6 o'clock?
I think we should.
All right.
So
let's do it.
If you chat along with us on YouTube, we'll premiere it and have a live chat along with us, and everyone that participates will have some prizes. We'll put you in a contest to win some prizes.
And then maybe we'll go live on Instagram and I'll get mad at the Vikings afterwards or something. I don't know. David will come up for that part.
If I'm done bow hunting.
You'll be done bow hunting.
8:01 Saturday morning.
Yep.
Whack. Done. Hope so. Yeah. I want to get done early this year, man.
You're not even going to hunt Saturday.
I'm so sick of deer hunting, bow hunting at the end of December. I want to be done early. All right. We got Drake Hurd with us, and he went through a really surreal situation at the NWT Championship in Green Bay. We're going to ask him about his feelings. Obviously, he's posted some stuff on Facebook, but we'll dig into that, to what happened, how he felt about it, how he dealt with it, and how he's reflected on that and how he feels about it today and what could happen in the future. And Joe Henry will join us later in the show as well, too. Stick around.
Now is the time to start thinking about chasing big walleyes on Devil's Lake. Get on the fish at Haybale Heights Campground and Resort. Haybale Heights makes it easy for you to make memories on legendary Devil's Lake with guided fishing and lodging packages. Or bring your own boat and rent one of their cabins on East Bay. Haybale Heights offers a private marina, fish cleaning station, and the opportunity to relax and enjoy your bucket list trip to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. To book your trip, visit haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com.
All right, Drake Hurd joins us right now here on the show, and obviously we're going to talk fishing. We're we're gonna talk NWT. But when you have a guy named Drake on the show, I think we got to start talking hunting, since hunting seasons are here. Even though we just had the early teal season, I don't know. We went out a couple of days, wasn't all that great.
We were goose hunting.
Yeah, we were
goose hunting with a side of teal.
Mostly goose hunting. Did you do any hunting when you got back from the tournament, Drake?
Yeah. I actually hustled home to see my boys, and we just went out blind, and we ended up shooting a few. So they were pretty excited just to pull the trigger and everything. So that was good. We did get one goose, though. I will say this: we were literally packed up, almost walking out, and a lone goose wanted to commit suicide. He just flew right over us. I got our guns out of the case, and literally me and my dad shot it.
Nice.
We got the one goose. So
that's awesome.
Big bonus.
Geese love teal decoys. It's a secret, a little known secret in the hunting industry. I mean, it is one of those things. Like, we get asked all the time, do you like the early teal season? Should we keep doing it? And honestly, no, not really. But we're going to hunt because we love the duck hunt. So we're going to take advantage. And you argue with people online, of course, because that's the most fun thing to do these days.
Sure.
But they're like, why are you against the early teal season? Anytime you let them take away our days to hunt, you're just letting them win. And it's like, who? First of all, I mean, you take away some of these early seasons, you're probably going to make the regular season better. So who's actually winning at the end of the day? The guys that are out there hunting during the regular season are probably going to have just as much fun. And with early goose, I mean, I'm okay with taking away the overwater hunting for early goose. So how do you guys?
Never really. Once every few years we hunt over the water anyway, so.
I mean, it's real easy to kill geese over water. Yeah, it can be real fun.
A migrator spread on a 10 to 15 northwest wind day. It
can be real fun. But during the early season, I'm okay with getting rid of it. That's some of the discussion. I mean, we broke this down last week. If you want to hear us talk more about our opinions on the duck seasons in Minnesota, go back and listen to last week's podcast. I probably yapped about it way too long last week. But, so Drake, let me ask you this question, because you're probably in the same camp as we are, that we're for a later waterfowl opener. We got the Make Duck Season Late Again t-shirts that we're selling in our store. Yes. We want to see a later duck season. If we end up going to to the restrictive bag, we're in the liberal framework right now. So say we go into the restrictive. So our population numbers, along with the wetland, that's the word I'm looking for. Wetland counts and pond counts. If that hits a certain threshold, they're going to drop us down to a restrictive bag limit and season length. So we could see in the future a 30-day season and a 3-duck bag limit. If Drake, in your opinion, if they go to a 30-day season, when should they open the season?
Like November 1st, maybe.
Yes.
Yes, like somewhere in there. No, right after deer hunting, somewhere in there. So I can get deer hunting in, like bow hunting right before gun season, and then right after would be perfect.
That's awesome.
No, I mean, I'm all for that stuff too. I mean, even like youth hunt, like I am all for youth. I try to bring as many of my son's friends, anyone that wants to go duck hunting, like I'll bring them with. But I struggle with it with like the youth hunts and the early teal, all that stuff I struggle with, because it just makes it harder, I feel, during the regular season for us guys that love to hunt. And so we're going to hunt anyways. It's just a challenge. It makes it more and more difficult every year to, get on birds and show these youth like what it's all about.
Well, especially when they change the early youth or the youth season to Saturday and Sunday now. They up the age. So I don't remember how many people I've talked to, high schoolers that already duck hunt. They'd find one of their friends who is a year old, because 17-year-olds can hunt, or is it capped at 16 now?
17.
17.
No,
so
17, yeah.
So they'd find a buddy of theirs who's 18 and say, hey, can you take us, on the youth waterfowl weekend? And they had their own decoys, everything. They're already into the sport, and they'd go and shoot a bunch of ducks in 2 days. Like that's not what the season's designed for.
No.
Right.
Well, on mistake, ducks are getting shot. There's no question about it. And then in Minnesota particularly, you rely on the local population for the first month of the season probably. And anytime you start pressuring those birds, you're going to encourage them to move somewhere, whether they go 400 miles or they go 20 miles or they go 3 miles. They're going to move somewhere and they get shot at or get shot near. So like Dan, you hunted this morning, or when we filmed this, you filmed.
It was the last day of early teal season. Yeah.
So it was a couple days ago.
I was filming. So
depending on when you're watching this, it was the last day of the teal season. How many other ducks were with those teal?
We saw a ton of mallards. We saw a ton of wood ducks. That was about it, I think. It was one of those where if it was a regular day of duck hunting, I think we would have been limited out on other ducks before we even saw blue wing or green wing teal. So and we did see both. We shot green wings. So
first of all,
teal.
That's wild to have green wings and all those mallards around this early. First of all, but you know what's going to happen to those mallards and wood ducks now that all that shooting took place around them. We'll see. Yeah. And then once the local birds are gone, you got to wait for the migrators. And as we know, the migrators are coming down later and later. Yes, you do have a trickle in October, and if you're in northern Minnesota, you might see them a little bit earlier. But generally, the most birds we see are in November where I'm at, and I want to hunt in November. So
it's a good time to go fishing right now.
Let's talk fishing, because September, I think I'm leaning more and more into fishing in September, and it can be real good. Drake, let's talk about Green Bay a little bit. How was fishing over there? I know it was windy, but how was the fishing?
Yeah, in all honesty, it was pretty good. I mean, when you go to these tournaments, you're not necessarily looking for numbers. So we're not fishing the huge schools of fish, but I can't complain. I mean, we were catching anywhere from 5 to 10 fish a day. And on Green Bay, that's pretty good. You know, I would say our average was, 4.5 pounds all the way up to, I did get one that was 10 pounds, 3 ounces. So I couldn't complain. I mean, we had beautiful weather for the pre-fishing. Light winds, so you could move around, fish how you wanted, and it was shaping up to be a good event for sure.
And I want to get into live scope and forward-facing sonar more later in the discussion, but one thing you mentioned, when you're out there looking for the big fish, not necessarily the schools of fish, how has that thought process changed over the years now that you can go out there with a live scope and try to pinpoint some of these fish? Because you look at some of these bags, like, my gosh, the tournament bags in recent years are insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy. I mean, we look for the big fish first, and then we call it our nursery spot. If we got to come back to where, there's, like, for example, on Green Bay, there was a spot in Menominee Bay you could pull up, and there had to be a school of, 1,000, 2,000 fish. Well, they were all 3.5 to 4 pounds. So like 19 inches to 22 inches, you could have caught all day. But what we've been focusing on so much more now is you're going for those 5 bites, versus, back in the day, you used to get 2 or 3 of those and then you fill your bag in. Well, guys are getting so good now that they can go for 5 bites all day and they're going to be giants. So it's definitely changed how we've pre-fished, yet we still, find those little schools in case we got to fall back on something.
Let's talk about your 5 bites on day one, your big 5. I don't know how many, I'm not sure how many fish you caught, but how did day one go for you?
Honestly, it was pretty good. I weighed 34.02, so 34 pounds on 5 fish. So I had 2 absolute giants. I should have weighed them. I didn't even weigh them. I just literally threw them in the live well because I knew that was going to be a big enough fish. We ended up, we could catch 6 fish, and then you would weigh 5. So we ended up only catching 5. We caught a few other small ones that we let go. I ended up at about 12:30 on Thursday. I had one that was probably 8 or 9 pounds that was like came up on the surface and just kind of rolled. And I started to like pull it towards me. I'm like, all right, we can get it to the net. Well, when I pulled it towards me and it turned its mouth right at me, the jig literally flew right by my head. And I your heart sinks because you're like, at that time I only had 4 fish. It was 12:30, and it's like, well, if I'm going to run back and go to those Menominee fish, like I'm going to have to make a decision now. So it's like, oh boy, now I'm in trouble. We ended up going back to Menominee. I think our second cast, we got like a 5.2 or 5.3, and that was our 5th fish. So we started to look for big ones again.
You're feeling pretty good about life. And there's 40 anglers. This is a championship. There's 40 boats, correct, right? All right. So after day one, you're tied for 10th. How windy was it on day one compared to day 2?
Day one, honestly, wasn't bad. Like, I shouldn't say that. Between like 7 and noon, like it was variable fish, very easy to fish. There wasn't a ton of wind, maybe 3 footers, which, we're kind of used to and you've kind of learned how to fish. But Friday, I mean, going in, they kind of told us like Friday could be iffy. Like there's no doubt about it. And Friday we went to the windy side just to look at it. And those waves had to be 8-10 feet tall.
Oh, dang.
And they were huge waves. Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
you could have handled that. Can't believe they canceled it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It was probably a good thing. It was a blow day. They canceled it,
yep.
Which meant heartbreaking news for you. We're going to take a quick break. I want to talk about when you got that news and how you felt about it and how it ended up happening, that being tied for 10th doesn't get you into the top 10 on day 3 for the NWT Championship. More with Drake Hurd when we come back.
Sick of eating tag soup? It's time to own your odds this fall with OnX Hunt, the GPS hunting app trusted by millions of hunters. Now you'll have access to nationwide public and private land ownership information, waypoints, optimal wind for each stand, tracks, and much more. All at your fingertips. Go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code SJR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your membership. That's code SJR20.
Drake Hurd, our guest. We're talking about the NWT Championship. You have a great day 1. You're tied for 10th, 34 pounds. You looking at day 2, you wake up. You knew it could be bad that day, wind-wise, weather, all of that. You knew there was a chance for it to be canceled. When did you find out?
Yeah, so a little preface to that. So going into the rules meeting, we had asked them what the rules were as far as if we were going to have a blow day, if all 40 of us were going to fish the second day or just 10. And they told us prior to the tournament that only the 10 would fish on the third day. So we all knew that going in.
Okay.
We didn't agree with it. You could see the frustration and arguments on a lot of the anglers' faces, and I know there was some concerns voiced over before the tournament even started. We said for 2 days we want all 40 to go, but we did know that they had decided, and it was in the rules, that they were only going to let 10 go. So coming in, I knew it was close. So I'm tied for 10th. After day 1 on Thursday, myself and Jake L went and talked to Jeff, and he said, we've looked through all the tiebreakers. There's 5 tiebreakers. We had tied on the first 4. The 5th one was tournament director's decision.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it was like, oh boy, this could be really bad. And Jake was one of the ones that battled the hardest to have all 11 of us go. It was just one of those things. So I mean, my heart sank because I know Jake, like if they went AOI or anything in like from the season, Jake had a better season than me. There's no doubt about it. Like he had a great year. So that was going to be it. So Jeff canceled it at like 5 o'clock on Friday, day 2. At 6 o'clock, he called in the morning and said, hey, here's what we're going to do. I'm not making this official, but, I think we're going to go off of AOI points. So Jake L will be in. Drake, you're out. You're going home. And like, I didn't even know how to answer at the time. Jake honestly said the first thing and said, that's not right, Jeff. We should both be able to go. We are tied for 10th. It doesn't say 10 boats. It just says the top 10 are going. And so Jeff was kind of reluctant, but he came back and said, well, let me talk with Outdoor Teamwork some more and we'll see what we can come up with. And so it's 6 in the morning, and now I'm thinking I'm getting to get to sleep in a little bit, and I'm just wired. I'm wide awake. I'm looking at the wind, and I'm just like, oh, man, I just want to go. I just want that chance. He then called at about 8:30, and in the meantime, he had called the other 9 anglers, 1 through 9, and asked them, I guess, their opinions. It's not exactly clear what he exactly asked them. I thought it was going to be a yes or no answer where, like, hey, these guys are tied. Do you think they should be able to fish? Well, according to Jeff, 5 said yes, absolutely they should be able to fish, and 4 either said no or didn't really give an answer, so he considered that a no.
Wow.
So 2 things that I look back, I'm pretty bummed, but like 2 things. I mean, one, it was majority. I'm pretty disappointed about that, but they said it had to also be unanimous. It had to be all 9 anglers. Well,
why? Why did it have to be unanimous? I mean, is that in the rules? Is there rules about this, or are they making this up as they go?
Try getting 9 humans anywhere to agree on anything.
Right.
Come on.
That's the exact thing. Like, if I had known it had to be unanimous, I would have told him, like, hey, don't even ask, because I know it's not going to be unanimous. I know that, so I don't know. My heart sank. I mean, I was bummed. I was frustrated. I had a few more choice words than what I put out there, but I mean, I didn't know what to think. All you do is you fish all year for that chance at the championship. And I felt like I fished well enough to where I had that chance to fish again, fish the final day. There's something about going out when there's only, those 10 boats going out the 3rd day of that tournament. This would have been my 4th time, and how special it is.
Yeah, man, that sucks. There's a couple of thoughts that first come to mind, and one is I'm surprised anybody said no. Like, I understand there's some strategy involved, and that's just another angler that you got to beat. This is the best of the best. It's another good angler that you got to beat out there to take first. But the fishing world, and I know there's sometimes some sketchy things that happen in tournaments. I mean, nobody ever cheats or throws things in gas tanks or
right.
lets air out of tires or anything like that. Like, that's never happened in the world of fishing tournaments. But for the most part, especially when you're talking about the championship and the top 40, the top 40 guys, you think generally are going to be pretty good guys. And you wonder what that question looked like or how it sounded, and if some of them were, because didn't one guy say he was kind of confused by the whole thing?
Didn't realize it was a vote.
Yeah. So, man, and you want, and if that's not in the rules somewhere ahead of time, like, this is what's going to happen. And I know you have that rule in there that the tournament director has sole discretion to change a rule at any time. Like, it's a pretty good rule to have in, because sometimes things get thrown at you like, whoa, like, I don't think anybody could have planned for this. I need to make a decision on it. This gives me the ability to do that. But when you're talking about the championship, 40 boats, 3 days, Green Bay, the chance for a blow day is pretty good. You think that most scenarios would have played out as they made the rules. Like, this would have been something that they would have thought about. So to have somebody tied, and if you're in, the point that you brought up with that, it's the top 10 places, not top 10 boats. You'd think. I mean, I'm just shocked that it happened this way.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I've got a few other choice words. I don't know. I'm still kind of just soaking it all in, to be honest with you. I mean, try for that chance so hard.
Yeah, let me ask you.
You just want a chance.
Let me ask you this, Drake. I mean, why not let all 40 boats fish on the last day?
That was one of our big arguments. And prior to the rules meeting, I mean, that was said multiple times to them, like, hey, if we have this, we all agree that we should have all 40 boats. Like, all the anglers seemed like they were pretty much all on board. And again, maybe a few weren't, who knows. But, like, they knew going in that it was going to be a bad situation. And I think it kind of blew up in their face. They didn't really think of it that much prior to. And we were telling them, like, hey, we're not dummies here. Like, let's figure this out. But they said it because it was in the rules and printed all year long that they couldn't change it.
So that was in the rules, but can't change that because of tournament director's sole discretion or anything.
Yeah.
Oh man,
exactly.
I don't know.
100%. I mean, and we even said, like, all right, even if, like, let's say day 3 can get pushed to Sunday, like, why not let all 40 of us fish Saturday then and have the top 10 on Sunday? Well, they did not want to stay another day.
Of course not.
They said it wasn't in the permit, and I don't know the permitting process, to be honest with you, about how that works.
Well, and that could be a legit reason. I was going to ask that too, like how the anglers would feel about having an extra day, and you'd almost think that. And I don't know. I only know tournament permits in Minnesota. I don't know what it's like in Wisconsin, but I don't know if there would have been additional cost if it was another day, or if the DNR was like, no, this big of a tournament, we just want to limit it to 3 days. You'd think, especially in a place that can get windy, that you would. I mean, it's hard. Like the logistics of a major tournament, there's a lot going on. So be able to just randomly throw an extra day in there, that's a lot. It's a lot to do, and you're talking about a lot of added expense and things like that. But a permit, I think you could get that extra day for the permit, and just in case, and then deal with the rest of it. But I get it. If it's just one of the tournaments during the season, okay. We're going to drop it down to the top 10 for the last day or whatever. But for the championship and only 40 boats, I don't know why you wouldn't just let them all fish.
Yeah. I mean, if the Bassmaster opens, when they get a blow day, and I know it's opens, not a championship, but there's a lot at stake there still. Those are 230 boat tournaments.
Yeah.
They guarantee don't guarantee, but they're going to give the full field 2 days of fishing if the weather allows. So you do it with 40, for crying out loud. I mean,
right.
If you're going to send 230 for 2 days, you can still do your top 10 camera boats like Bass does. I mean, it's just not hard. I mean, you travel all that way, you pay the money on the hotels, you pay the money for the entry fee, you pay the money for gas to get 1 day of tournament fishing. Come on. I don't know.
I'd like to know the reason why they decided only 10. Like, was there some logistical nightmare to have all 40 boats fish? I don't know what that would be.
What logistical nightmare is there in any tournament situation with only 40 boats?
No,
filming,
and honestly,
what it would be.
Yeah. And that's where we started to come up, try to think of reasons we really didn't know. I mean, honestly, Marinette, Menominee, like that city right there, they are set up perfect for tournaments. They've got huge parking lots. Like, it's run very well when we go there. So it was like, well, it can't be any of that other stuff. Like, what is the deal here?
If it's filming, by the way, Bret, just because you mentioned that, and Drake, I don't want to put you in a weird position. I have from an outsider's perspective, I have some strong feelings about the National Walleye Tour. Yes. But if it's because of filming, that is absolutely ridiculous, because the NWT media coverage is complete garbage. It is awful.
It's terrible.
It's the worst. I mean, the fact that the best coverage that tournament gets is from a private party, private entity on YouTube, the Sam Moore crew, the Tour Level Gold crew, and they do a wonderful job. That is great. But the NWT media coverage, whether it's the takeoff, the weigh-in, or the TV show, I don't even know if they still do the 30-minute TV show that comes out like a month later that you see like 2 fish get caught and it's just an ad and you get nothing out of it. It's just, it's not good. You look at any other big tournament circuit, for being the biggest walleye circuit in the world, supposedly, it's terrible. It's awful. Terrible. My gosh. All right.
I could keep going. You could go on, and I'm going to praise you from the beginning. Like Tom now has started to stream. I started streaming some of my days, but you can't even turn on your stream back on if you lose it. So like, I spent $5,000 to get Starlink, everything in my boat. But now if I lose my feed 5 minutes in because I hit a wave wrong and a cord jiggles or something, I can't restart it.
What?
It's like, we're trying to help grow it. Yeah, that's a rule, that you can't restart it once it dies.
What? Okay.
So like, we're trying to help. Sorry, go ahead.
No, let's take a quick break. I want to come back and talk more with Drake Hurd about this from the NWT.
Are we going podcast only? Do we need to tell our radio listeners to go turn on the podcast for the rest of this?
All right. We should, yeah. If you're listening on the radio, go to the podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever. More with Drake when we come back.
If you want to catch a big walleye, go where the big walleyes are. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world, with a variety of resorts and lodging facilities offering full-service fishing. Lake of the Woods is also home to sturgeon, sauger, perch, trophy pike, muskie, smallmouth bass, burbot, and more. Plan your trip to Lake of the Woods today. Go to lakeofthewoodsmn.com. That's lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
All right, Drake Hurd is with us talking about the NWT Championship at Green Bay recently, and you brought up we were talking about coverage and how the filming and the coverage of the NWT is lacking. So, and congratulations to Tom Wynn again, of course, as well. And then you mentioned that he's streaming and that you started streaming, but you brought up a weird rule. So if you lose your stream, you cannot restart it. Is that, are they saying that you knocked it out for a reason so you could cheat somehow? What? I don't understand the rule behind that.
I don't either. I've tried asking about it, and no one really knows the answer to that one. Like, we we just want to restart our stream so that people can watch us more. Like, we're not trying to cheat. We're trying to grow the sport. We're trying to give us better media coverage than what we currently have. I mean, looking from an outsider in, because then I watched all day Saturday, they didn't have any live video at all of the anglers on the water at all, except for Tom's, stream. So it's like, this is the year-end championship and we're not doing anything. I mean, even the takeoffs, which, I mean, I get they're the takeoffs, they do them with a cell phone. Like, you can't get a nice camera to set on a tripod and literally just set it as we drive by. You got to hold a phone,
That's my favorite was Matt Deutsch from what's his podcast? Midwest Angler Podcast. Is that his podcast? Yeah, a National Walleye Tour blocked him because he would just he'd go on every takeoff and weigh in and just trash it because it's that bad. Like, it's.
It is, and it's the one thing that we try so hard to just help them with it, and it's just a struggle bus the whole time. I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Let's just think about it. You've got a Starlink on your boat so you can live stream, and if the stream goes out, you just have to open a laptop or go into your phone or whatever and click restart. I mean, what's the process? And then
I don't know if so I literally have to it's on my phone. So I have my camera that's up in the corner, or I'll wear it depending upon kind of how I'm fishing or whatever. But literally, I don't even have to go on any of the social medias or anything. I literally just go into this app that says to restart my feed. And I don't know if they think I'm going onto Facebook to look what it could be.
A phone restriction.
I just have to. Right. So I just go into my phone, and I even argued, I'm like, I'll let my co-angler, I'll show my co-angler before we go out how to restart it. If you're worried about that, I'll have him restart it then. I don't care. Yeah. I'm just trying to make this work. But they're
interesting.
Just set against it. Yeah.
Gosh. Well, let's talk about that, or what happened to you tied for 10th. Do you think this will change? This will set a precedent for future seasons with the NWT. This might change some rules or how things are done. Yeah,
I mean, I hope so. Anyways, I mean, I've hoped for a few other things over the last 3 or 4 years of the NWT. Seems like they're in different situations lately, and you hope that they change things, and I think they will. But you don't know. I mean, one, they should have, whether it be a coin flip or whatever for a tie. And then two, just allowing anglers to at least have 2 days of fishing no matter what. Regular season, that's debatable. I can see that. But at the championship, I think all of us won. I mean, prior to this, in 2017, we were in Marinette. We fished the first day. I was in 15th. We sat on shore for 2 days straight. We sat on shore Friday, and then we sat on shore Saturday. Sunday, the whole field went. And it's well, why didn't we do that here? They were the ones that set the precedence that we should, and we didn't do that here. So I'm assuming they're going to change some stuff, but we'll see.
Well, and that, sorry, Bret, that brings up a whole nother issue with National Walleye Tour that I've heard. And we talked to Ken Anderson last year while we were at the Warrior tournament on Lake of the Woods. We talked to him about some of this stuff and the scheduling. It seems like it's the same place, not same places necessarily, but the same lakes. The Great Lakes get a lot of attention, and rightly so, because the fishing's good. There's big fish, and for a tournament, you want to have big fish, but you're getting blow days. Look at a lake like Ottertail, hosted a great championship 4 years ago, an awesome championship 4 years ago, and fishing was fantastic. Why are we not seeing more smaller lakes like that? I mean, that's not a tiny lake, it's 15,000 acres, but there's so many lakes like that. I feel like they just skip right over Minnesota as a whole these days, but well, let's go to the Great Lakes and have 2 blow days again, and hopefully get one day when you've got there's only a gazillion lakes with walleyes around.
I was going to bring that up earlier when we brought that up to the wind on a Great Lake for a championship. It's there are so many lakes, whether it be Wisconsin, anywhere across the Midwest. You got Hayward, the Chippewa flowage is historic. I mean, there's just so many areas where 40 of us could go and showcase something off, and we're just not doing it. We're not taking advantage of it. And there's again, it comes into a whole nother thing because they're running so many tournaments. I know Brian Bashore did a big podcast about this, and he was spot on. They are cramming so many tournaments in that the walleye guys, it just seems like, are getting the last choices wherever they can just fit us in.
Say if they're running a lot of tournaments, they sure aren't doing a good job at it.
Yeah.
Well, do you mean just there's tournaments going on all over the place? Anyway, or are you talking about this group?
No, that group. I mean, they run college tournaments. They run high school tournaments. I mean, they bass, walleye. I mean, they do all sorts of stuff. I mean, they
do MWC, right?
MWC, yeah. Yep, correct. So that TBF, like the Bass Federation, they run those ones, and so they, I don't know how many tournaments Jeff does, 30 or 40 a year, so it's just like, well, like for next year, for example, their trailer does not leave like between the MWC and the NWT of us being in Green Bay and Michigan their trailer doesn't leave Wisconsin for like a month and a half, which again, that saves them costs and everything else. I get it, but that's not necessarily good for us, the anglers, so we'll see. What
other changes do you think could take place in the future for the NWT? What do you think could happen, or what else would you like to see happen?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a few things. I mean, I think media coverage is a big thing for us anglers. We want better coverage there. I think that's a big thing. As far as forward-facing sonar would go, I don't think the walleye world is barking about it as much as the bass people are, and maybe they are. I mean, I get comments on my posts all the time about you guys are cheating with the black box, whatever. Whatever. Great.
Live Scope's actually made walleye tournaments exciting again.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just it. Like, we're crushing big bags, and I don't think necessarily people are upset about it. They may limit us in the future. I have 2 on my trolling motor and 1 on a pole for my co-angler, so I have 3 on my boat. Well, they might limit us to 1 or 2. And I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but I think it's made it so where it's exciting for people to watch the huge bags that come out of these bodies of water. And we're learning every day when we're on the water. Like Erie was crazy how many fish you caught using it. It's just one of those things where we're still learning a ton versus the bass world is kind of starting to make up their decision already.
Yeah. Were you surprised to see bass do what they did for next year?
I am. Yeah. I don't know what those contracts are, but Garmin, Humminbird, Lowrance have got to have huge contracts with them, and it can't necessarily be good for them. I mean, the sponsors can't necessarily be happy. Yes, I see they're going to still be using, TV and GPS and all that stuff, but the fact that, those sponsors only get, let's say, 5, so they get half the time, does their contract then get cut in half because they're not going to be spotlighted as much? Or, how does that work? Chance. It's a whole nother realm of stuff, And
I mean, I understand it was a tough decision to make, and you got that whole crowd, the anti-forward-facing sonar guys just chirping all the time, and then you got the guys that like to use it, and so I could see coming up with a compromise. All right, we're going to do it in certain places, but it just, I don't know. And maybe it'll change again next year. Maybe they'll look at this and go, all right, well, we tried something. I think Dan and I talked about it last week with Pat Slopper a little bit, that it's going to be interesting to see if some of those tournaments where you can't use live scope and you see some of the young guys that are accused of not being good at angling, only good at, the cheater box or video game fishing, see them win a tournament without it. You wonder if that'll change people's opinions or if they're just set in their ways at this point.
I'm 110% hoping that happens. The way I looked at it is my dad taught me a ton about fishing. And the natural progression is I got better than him just because I got new technology. I was better. My boys are now 9 and 7. And I know that in like 6 or 7 years, they're going to just hand it to me. Like, there is no doubt about it. So, like, yes, the older generation is probably mad about it, but that's just the natural progression of fishing. There's always going to be someone else coming along that's going to want to knock you off. And that's just part of fishing. And if you don't like it, then don't do it. If you feel like you're getting left behind, well, you better do some work.
Are you worried like I am that if you start to see all these tournaments start to ban live scope or make changes, make restrictions, that you'll get more and more people will also be chirping to the DNR. Well, these big tournaments think live scope's not good for the tournaments, and it's not good for our fish, and our lakes need to be protected and all of that. Do you think this could have ramifications down the line when it comes to regulations for the average angler out there?
Yeah, I mean, you give someone any excuse to make up something, they're gonna take advantage of it. So yeah, they're gonna start saying, well, the anglers don't think it's great, the tournament anglers don't think it's great, then we shouldn't do it either. So I think that could be, and we don't know the ripple effect. I mean, you look at this live scope, and I tried to go back. I think I've had it for like 9 or 10 years. Like I had it the very first year it came out, one of the very first ones, and you just look at how it's changed so drastically. I don't know what to think quite yet. I mean, obviously we have to be fair with our fishing, or conservative, be aware of what's going on. Sure. But I think it's too early to tell on a lot of this stuff.
I think we all want to protect our fish, protect our lakes and rivers. But as well as I do, it helps you find fish. It doesn't always help you catch the fish. You still got to catch the fish.
Yep.
I mean, who was it? Eric, when we had you on last time, on Ottertail, when he found that fish, he didn't know if it was a rock, and didn't he pitch at it for how many times? For how long?
Casts. Yeah. 25 casts. Trust me, I still give him a hard time about that one. But he just knew there was something different about it. It was just one of those things.
So with your business, Fin Gear, and I keep seeing Renegade Manufacturing now. So you must have that's the overall business umbrella, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So correct. Renegade Manufacturing is kind of my manufacturing side. So we manufacture all of Fin Gear stuff. The Cerakoting, all that stuff, finishing, packaging, all that. And then my manufacturing, we actually make fishing lures for companies all over the world. So whether it's a lead head jig, we spin cast, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of jigs every year. We pour soft plastics. We've got injection machines that do, twister tail grubs or creature baits or Senkos. And then we have hard plastic, stuff so we can do crankbaits. And so it's one of those things where I haven't really told people a ton about it. I mean, I'm just kind of going about my business, but we make lures, and that's how I kind of keep my foot in the game for all these companies across the Midwest. And, we have some huge accounts in Europe.
Oh, wow. We don't need to go down a long road here, but how different is the fishing market in Europe?
It's crazy because it's a lot of pike, it's a lot of carp, catfish, so it's a lot of that
Europeans.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I mean, some of the, Norway, Sweden, they have Xander and stuff, which, I mean, I wish we had a few lakes with those over here because that'd be fun to catch in North Dakota. Yeah, exactly. Don't be telling people that.
Hey, you just had people driving in North Dakota just throw things at their radio.
It's not a secret.
Flip you the bird.
Yeah. I didn't say what lake.
Yeah, exactly.
Or those redfin perch.
The big perch, yeah.
They're like 3 pounds.
Those Swedish pike, the pike, we know a few guys that fish over there. Man, it'd be such a cool place to fish, and just some giant pikes, fat
or those
fish.
10-foot Wells catfish. That would be fun to catch too.
I love Swedish fish. And I'm so glad I can go buy them at Walmart.
How do you deal with the exchange rate and all that stuff? What's that like?
It's a good cluster and a half. Honestly, my guy that exports out of the cities, out of the Twin Cities, he deals with a lot of that stuff for me. I trust that
I got a guy.
Taxes and, yeah, exactly. Because it's changing. I mean, even with the tariffs and stuff now, it's changing so drastically that it's way over my head. He knows his job and keeps me on the right side of that stuff. So.
Well, let's kind of focus on, since forward-facing sonar is such a big part of the conversation right now. A lot of what you're doing with Fin Gear deals with that, pole mounts and graph mounts and things like that. Are you worried that some of these rules and these changes could affect your business?
Oh, absolutely. People have said that it's destroyed fishing. Forward-facing sonar is going to destroy fishing. it has created a whole nother market in the fishing industry that of companies that would have never existed without, forward facing sonar. We have mounts now, we have graph mounts, we've got poles, we now have like our surge purges that help your boat like stabilize when you're in the water. So like we're constantly trying to innovate to, create something new or different or exciting. And with the shuttles, for example, now guys are using shuttles in the winter and summer. So it has created so many jobs, not necessarily just in Minnesota, but across the country, of companies that have popped up that have different varieties of stuff for it, transducer covers, you name it. Guys have kind of come up with it. And so I think it's helped the fishing industry. And again, people don't like change as much, and this is just a change. And if people don't adapt, they're going to get left behind.
Yeah, it is unfortunate when you do build your business around a product and then something changes in the industry that, almost makes your product obsolete. Like that's tough. I mean, I was a radio guy. Radio has changed quite a bit. You look at news, you took a traditional media, that's changed quite a bit. Things evolve, things change. It's part of a capitalistic society. It's part of our world. You have to try to be innovative and try to stay ahead of the game, and that's just part of it. That's honestly the beauty of the way our country works, is that it just gives opportunity to people. It just means you have to work hard to stay ahead, and that creates better products and more innovation. And you brought up the surge purge, and unfortunately, this was a sad post that you put up on Facebook, but there was a picture of a bush light on a surge purge. Tell me the story behind it. And I don't know what a surge purge is. Tell me about that product and tell me about this photo.
So Dylan Nussbaum, who fishes the NWT out of Pennsylvania, the kid is super smart. I mean, he helped design our shuttles, ice shuttles. And then he said, hey, Drake, I'm working on something pretty cool to help stabilize your boat when you're out in the rough water. He is mainly thinking Great Lakes. And he's like, I think it's going to be big. Well, he sent me a few samples and we worked through some stuff, and he ended up designing this surge purge now that connects to either a power pole, a Raptor, or whatever. And whether you have one or two, it really doesn't matter that much. I mean, obviously two, it stabilizes it more, but just the fact of having one on there, you can lower it down in the water. Like on Green Bay, we had them down the whole day, and it really helps your boat, both like left and right from rocking this way, but then surging, forwards and backwards. So it's one of those things where we just want to stabilize so that we can see our forward facing sonar better, to make it easier for us to cast at fish and just fish them overall, like keep with boat position. I mean, we all know how crucial that is.
And to stay safe, really, when you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, like, it's crazy. Like, when I put them on the boat, I'm like, wow, this can't help that much. Well, I was out on Green Bay, like, in April, and it got rough, and we put them down, and it was like, oh, my God, I can, like, stand here now and don't have to worry about falling out of the boat. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, this actually does work really well. It's just not one of my products. It actually works really good.
I was looking at some of the stuff on your website, and I see a lot of aluminum, a lot of stainless steel. It kind of reminded me, like, David just likes to build stuff over there.
I like to tinker, yes.
Yeah.
He should come work for you, honestly.
Yeah, he can weld.
Exactly.
He's a carpenter. He can build stuff. He can fix stuff.
Concrete stuff. Come with
Yeah. Yep. He's a farmer, and he always liked to over HD stuff. Like,
well, if I see something, I'm like, I could build that. I don't need to buy it. 100%. I can build it.
Yep.
And that kind of made me think of that when I was looking at your stuff. It looks like stuff that's not going to break out there.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things when we started the company. We wanted to make sure you could chuck it against a wall, or just, we know the elements that we're going against, so we wanted to make sure that it was bulletproof. So it's one of the things we kind of pride ourselves on, is that we're not just going to innovate something and throw it out there right away. We're going to test it, make sure it doesn't break. And then you're going to be a happy customer and hopefully come back for more in the future.
Yeah, I've got one of your shuttles, and Bret, you've got the Garmin stock shuttle, and it's fine, does its job, but it's a little chintzy, and
I feel like I'm going to break it.
Yeah, and I got the Fin Gear one in the mail, and I put it together. I'm like, I could run this over with my pickup truck right now, and I'm not worried about it. Like it
to be fair, you drive a Colorado though. That's
okay. I could run it over with your Tundra. But either way, like it bounces around in the winter when you're driving over ice heaves or whatever you're doing. It bounces around on the boat. When I've got it in my dad's boat, it's scratched, but nothing's broke, and I know I'm not going to break it. Like I don't care about the paint, and that's fine. So,
we have a commercial. We actually drug one. You'll see the commercial come out here as we get closer to ice. I drug one down the road for a couple miles just to prove a point, basically. And you'll see how beat up it was. And I literally turned it right back on. It was kind of crazy. I actually was like a little nervous about it. I'm like, God, I hope this works. And then I flipped the switch and it turned right back on. So it was like, all right, now I know it's something. So,
any changes for that shuttle for this upcoming year?
So we are going to have options. That it's, again, people want more options. So we are going to have lights, if you want, master power switches. I mean, there's just a few other accessories and stuff. The handle is a little more rounded now and such. So, we always are going to listen to the anglers. Like, we're not going to just say ours is the best. We're going to keep listening. If people have suggestions, like, we're open to that. We know that there's always room for improvement. So, so we're hoping that those changes that we're making are going to crush it.
All right, Dave. Sorry, Dan. If you were going to build it, what would you do?
I don't know.
You've seen mine.
Let's hear it.
It's been a while since I've seen yours.
The rounded handle, I love hearing that, because that was the one thing I would say is there's been a few times I'm like, but other than that, I love it. And I was just going to say, there's a lot of shuttles out there. There's a lot of well-made shuttles out there, but like there's companies in Canada that are making stuff, and I don't know how many times I hear, oh man, I wait
forever
3 weeks for shipping. I can't get a hold of customer service. And truthfully, that was the biggest thing that made me purchase Fingear, because it's a Minnesota company. You're an hour and a half away from us, so I know I can get on the phone with you guys, and we're gonna get something squared away if we need to. Didn't need to. Shipping was fast, and I love supporting local businesses. And that's awesome. So I would encourage anyone to, if they're looking at a shuttle or any accessories, really, to look local and look towards you, because you make a good product, and I love that you're in the backyard.
It's a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal. And I know a company in Canada you're talking about, and I bought some stuff from them, and I had a question about one of the products, and I called, I emailed, I never got an answer, and I just had to wait for the product to show up in the mail. And I mean, I use it, but
it was the wrong one, wasn't it?
It was the wrong one, and I had to order a different one.
Yeah, good luck sending it back and then getting a replacement. Maybe you'd get it by now, and that was 3 years ago. Yeah. That's frustrating.
Well, let's talk about some of the other products a little bit, because brackets, rails. What else is out there for the angler?
I mean, graph mounts is a big thing. Guys like to put them in their tracks. Guys are now putting graph mounts in their Rangers. They're on their snowmobiles, on their side-by-sides, four-wheelers. So that's honestly, I was a little nervous about how graph mounts were going to work, but ours are pretty much flexible and ease of use. So guys are kind of putting them everywhere. I think there doesn't go a week goes by that one guy wanted to put it in his airplane. One guy wanted to, put it in his tractor. And I'm like, sure, like I can do some measurements. I have no idea, but I'll measure it up for you and you can tell me, So it's one of those things where it's not just the fishing industry. I mean, there's a few, fire departments that are using them, police departments that are starting to use them. So it's pretty cool to just see your product out there and working in all these different environments.
What are the fire departments using your stuff for?
So they're search and rescue stuff. Like whether it be forward facing sonar or just graphs. A few of them, two different ones put them up on their ladder because they wanted a screen on their ladder of some sort. So they somehow attached it to the end of their ladder so that it was out of the way. I don't know why they want that, but it was pretty cool to see the pictures of that. So that's
a little over the realm of our 400 people town fire department.
Yeah.
It's like, what's interesting? What could we get? But we don't have any screens.
I'm not like we're doing a commercial here for you, but that's another big thing to know when you're dealing with a local company. If you can call them up and be like, hey, this is what I need. You'd be like, huh? I don't know. You want to do what on a ladder?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can do that. What about, say, for duck hunters that are hunting out of their duck boats? Mounts for blinds or mounts, gun mounts or something for duck hunters. What might be out there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the mounts work great. I have a lot of guys that do them because we Cerakote them, which is the same, stuff that goes on guns. But then we also have what we call cord holders, but I've had a lot of guys now in permanent duck blinds or permanent, are starting to see more of these permanent blinds that can drive into fields and drop their trailer down.
Trailer blinds.
But you're resting your gun on that metal. Well, it slides either way or your gun falls down, and we know that's not safe for one, but it also is tough on it. So we've started creating, these HDP parts so that guys can lean their guns up against stuff and they don't have to worry about them falling down, and it's better for the.
All right, how soon can I get some of those? Because I need them for my A-frame. I got a brand new 20 gauge that we hunted with last weekend, and I already scratched it up because it was up leaning against the poles in the A-frame. So
can you Cerakote a shotgun if Bret sends one to you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can do that. Yeah. Well, Speedy left today. I could ship some tomorrow. So
well, we'll talk after the show then.
Before the weekend. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. I just need them for Saskatchewan.
Yeah. We got a couple weeks. We're good. Yeah. I don't want to hunt Minnesota right now. Back to that.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we'll let you go here, Drake. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else coming up that you want to plug or anything?
No, not really. I'm just ready to enjoy the fall with my boys and family and stuff. I mean, fall's a great time in Minnesota to be fishing, hunting, whatever it is. So I think it's great. I mean, I'm happy how the season ended for fishing. I'm going to get out a few more times and then hopefully get to do some duck hunting and deer hunting here as it gets colder and enjoy this before I get into hockey with my two boys and never see the light of day again.
It's going to keep you busy all winter for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, tell us where we can find Fin Gear online and Renegade online and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So Renegade, is just basically you can search my name. I don't really have a website or anything. I just kind of go about my business there. But Fin Gear, fingear.com is the easiest way, or check us out on any of the social medias, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I think we got them all. So, like I said, I appreciate it, guys. I truly do. And I'm just trying to make it in this whole thing just like you guys are and enjoying it while I'm here.
Hell yeah. Well, in the future, you're going to be known as the 10th and a half place rule guy as they change things to the NWT next year.
Yeah.
The Drake
Hurd rule.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I hope that'd be what I'm famous for.
Not Angler of the Year, none of that.
Yeah, exactly. This rule right here is because of him.
Well, some people are known as rule breakers. You're going to be known as a rule changer. So,
yeah, exactly.
Congrats.
I'm right.
All right, Drake Hurd, thanks for being on the show, man.
There we go.
Nice. It's an awesome experience.
Fishing was really good. We got in a super monster bite.
That is a great way to start the trip off right there.
Tasman Lake is one of the places that has been on my bucket list for a long time, and watched every Tasman TV episode there is.
Incredible, incredible to see fish like that. Incredible to, fish water where you have the chance to catch fish like that.
Danny, that's the biggest trout you'll ever fight in your life.
Wow, this is a nice one.
Watch Tasman TV and book your trip at TasmanLake.com.
All right, Joe Henry joins us now from Lake of the Woods Tourism. Joe, how's it going?
Bret, how you doing?
I'm doing well. For us, we've been home for a little while. It's kind of weird just being home for a little bit. And I know you were on the road quite a bit. You probably had a chance to get home and decompress a little bit. How things going?
Good. It's good to catch up, and honestly, with work, it's a lot of things pile up when you're on the road. It's kind of a balancing act, as you know, and but it's good. I'll tell you what, it's kind of cool right now. I sure like the fall, and I love the fall, and it's too short of a season for me, and it's really neat too because up at Lake of the Woods, things are in transition. We start watching those water temps drop. Obviously, the days are getting shorter, and what that does is Mother Nature kicks some certain things into gear, and some of that is the walleye's fish movement and behavior. And we're starting to see more and more walleyes starting to slide towards shorelines. Not all. There's still fish over the deep mud and over deep reefs and stuff like that. But some of there's a number of fish that are starting to head to the shorelines and kind of set up along shore. There's more walleyes starting to enter the Rainy River and 4 Mile Bay. We're seeing more shiners start to go into the river. Does that mean it's a full-on run right now? Nope, doesn't mean that. But there are some shiners and some walleyes starting to go into the river. So, some of the walleye fishing on the river has actually been pretty decent as of late. We're also seeing increased sturgeon activity because of the cooling waters and the shorter days on the river. And then, of course, up at the northwest angle, the walleyes are always a thing up there. I mean, they're always, doing pretty darn good, really. But in addition to the walleyes, the crappies, there's a lot of people that'll come up in September and October to target, at least part of the day, big black crappies. And they're huge up in the northwest angle. With all those islands, there's a lot of structure and different things that those crappies will start schooling by. And they're just a blast to catch. They're so big that you really use like a full-out walleye jig for them typically. And they're fun. And then, the muskies, the muskie anglers, they've been targeting them all summer, certainly. But as the water's cool, some different patterns kick in. Activity with, follows and catches has been good. And once we get into October, into mid-October especially, some of the muskie anglers will start pulling crankbaits behind or spinners behind a boat. They'll troll form. And so really a lot happening. And you can just tell, the water temps are down in that 60 to 63 degree range on the basin, and things are happening.
I got a Snapchat from somebody. I have a lot of people on Snapchat. If you don't have me on Snapchat, maybe you could just, I don't know if that's going to work.
What are you, in middle school?
Right there. And that's not going to work. The little QR code. Anyway, they were at Riverbend right after we were. So as soon as we came home, they're like, oh, wait, look where we are. And I said, oh, what are you doing up there? And he goes, we have an annual tradition in the fall. In September, we come up and fish the Rainy River for sturgeon, which I thought that was pretty cool. And it's not something that you hear very often. And I said, you probably had the river to yourselves up there. And he said, yeah, fishing was pretty good. And that's kind of cool to have something like that when you talk about September on the Rainy River, where there's a tradition of sturgeon fishing.
Well, and remember, while we were there, we ran into a couple guys who were up there just for Labor Day weekend, and we were sitting at the bar hanging out with them. We're like, oh, how was fishing? They're like, oh, it was all right. We only got a couple. Well, what were you guys doing? Oh, we were sturgeon fishing. We just come up and sturgeon fish now over Labor Day weekend. It's great. We just go out and soak some night crawlers and catch some sturgeon, come back here, hang out, and that's all they were doing, sturgeon.
And you figure, for not everybody is a walleye nut, right? And it's kind of cool because, the people, Danny, you hit her in the head, I think. Some of the people that love sturgeon fishing, part of it is just going out there and finding a deep hole in the river, and you anchor up, and you're basically soaking worms, right? So you're going out with a sturgeon rig, which is a 3 to 4 ounce flat no-roll sinker. You use about an 18-inch sturgeon rig, which typically is made up of a 60-pound test with let's say a 3/0 circle hook. And then you load that hook up with a whole bunch of night crawlers, as many night crawlers as you can. Or you might have some night crawlers and some frozen emerald shiners on there as well. And you pitch that out in that hole. And some guys some anglers will target the part of the hole that's going upstream. So with the fact that those fish sit in a hole when they want to feed, they swim upstream, and go to shallower water. But nonetheless, around those holes are where a lot of the sturgeon are caught. And you just sit back and relax and watch the migration and different boats around. And sometimes you see deer or bear on shore, and you smell the crisp, cool air. Leaves are changing. It's a beautiful time. And you're just sitting back and relaxing and chewing the fat, and pretty soon you watch that rod tip and it's dink, 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 dink. And you know what? Yep, sometimes it's a sturgeon. Sometimes some are small, some are huge. Sometimes it's a sucker. You catch a lot of walleyes doing that in the fall, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's not usually it's not dinks that
typically, but
you're dealing with. But as we know, and that guy that was snapping me about it, he's like, oh yeah. I asked him about the sturgeon. He's like, yeah, we got a bunch in the upper 50s, and no real big ones right this weekend. But oh man, the walleyes we caught. It's like, well, that's the little secret of walleye fishing. You want to catch big walleyes on the Rainy, you go sturgeon fishing.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, Bret of Target Walleye, he was up there, I think in the spring, and he was using a modified smaller sturgeon rig to fish walleyes. And the reason is because he was talking to his buddies, and so many anglers that were fishing sturgeon were catching big walleyes. He's like, if they're catching that many walleyes doing that technique, why don't I just make the hooks a little bit smaller and fish some more walleye spots and use a sturgeon rig, and it works for him. He got some really nice fish doing it. So it's interesting. It's also interesting too, when you're on a river and you catch everything, and there's many, many different species of suckers, for example, on the river. It's not just one kind of sucker. There's many different species of suckers. Certainly there's bullheads. Once in a while you get a burbot or an eel pout. So it's cool. You never know what you're going to get, but it's very relaxing. When you're out there, you're not following structure and watching your speed and just it's much more relaxed. You find a spot and you anchor up and you soak some worms for a while. If that spot doesn't work out, you go try another hole. And there's a lot of holes in the river.
Yeah, sometimes I think we overthink things.
No.
When it comes to walleyes.
No way.
Such an easy way to fish and a lot of fun. Joe, I got a message from Mike Natkowski the other day, too. He called me up, and he's like, hey, I'm working on a story. I wonder if you can help me out. I was like, what do you want to know about? And he said, I want to do something about divers and buffleheads, specifically in Minnesota. And, we were kind of talking about some of the places to do it. And maybe you brought this up, Dan, but you want to go shoot a pile of buffleheads? The Northwest Angle. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do it out of a layout boat. It's a ton of fun.
It's a cool opportunity, and Lake of the Woods is really a pretty big flyway actually for that region. There's a lot of ducks that just follow Lake of the Woods all the way down that whole area, and up in the Northwest Angle, it's one of the few areas in Minnesota that's actually legal to use a layout boat in hunting, and naturally not many people have layout boats, so there's some guides up in the Northwest Angle that offer that kind of hunting. And I know you guys have actually shot a show doing it. In fact, when you guys shot a show, Bret, if I'm not mistaken, you actually shot in addition to divers, you shot a sea duck, didn't you?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it was white-winged scoter, and you can you see a handful of them get shot in Minnesota. Lake of the Woods is one of the places where they get shot. I know back in the day it was a historical nesting area for white-winged scoters, and I missed one first, if you remember, and we filmed.
Oh, I do. Yeah,
that's such a rare bird.
We filmed an episode of Prairie Sportsman up there, and then we also did 2 videos on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel with Andy Reeves and Forrest Husett, who do the guiding up there for layout boats and waterfowl hunting, and also muskie fishing and walleye fishing up at the Angle. Good guys. If you're looking for a really cool, unique layout boat hunt, particularly in Minnesota, get a hold of those guys. And we were shooting buffleheads. I think Corey Loeffler was with us that day.
Yep.
And we had one single come in, and I was watching them come in, and we've been shooting these buffleheads, which are the second smallest duck in North America, behind the hen green-winged teal. So these things are tiny, and that can also mean they're deceptively fast as well, or they look faster than they're going, and sometimes they can be hard to hit. Well, I watched this duck coming in. It was coming right at me, or right at us, I suppose. And it's like, okay, it's coming. And I'm thinking it's a bufflehead because that's what we'd been seeing. And it's coming right at us. And because it was a bigger duck, I thought it was closer to us because I thought that bufflehead was getting bigger as it was getting closer to us. So I ended up pulling up and shooting at it probably before I should have. I mean, it was definitely a makeable shot. But I don't know if I shot 3 times. I can't remember.
Well, I'm trying to remember which sea duck is that you were talking about because he missed one the first day.
I missed a couple.
Because I remember just sitting there filming. I had shot my 6 already, so I'm just sitting there with an unloaded gun filming, and I watched this thing fly like 10 yards over me. I'm like, hey, that's a sea duck. And I think we were trying to get Forrest to add a couple more birds. Like you had one left to go, and all of a sudden it's like sea duck, and it's just the sea duck flies away. And then, yeah, you missed one again the second day. So I don't know which one you're talking about.
Well, I remember one coming in and then banking to the left across through the spread, and I came out and swung on it, if I remember correctly, and missed it. And it was as it was going by me, I'm thinking in my head like, oh no.
I actually think you're thinking that out loud because I remember, like Joe said, you just yelling and the microphone peaking and almost breaking. And
yeah, my bad.
My ears exploding.
Wasn't that the time that you guys invited, like you had an extra spot, so you had like the dock boy from?
So that was the year before.
That was the year before, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And because we brought a couple of the guys out from Flag, and the one kid shot his birds right away.
Yeah. It's like, I've never done this before. Bang. Oh,
6 shots.
Bang. Oh,
yeah.
Because that's always the story. It's like Andy and Forrest will sit there and tell you stories about guys who brag about being good shots on mallards, and they come up here and go through 2 boxes of shells for 4 buffleheads, and so we're kidding around. And yeah, this kid hops in the boat and just, kapow, I got that one. Kapow, I got right.
Did not miss.
I'm done. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Swapped him out, and I think the other kid came in and shot.
Yeah, I think we all shot our 6 that day. It was pretty darn good. That's really fun hunting. Fun hunting.
And so then all of a sudden, I don't know if Corey saw the duck coming in from my right. I was on one end, and I think he saw something coming in, and all of a sudden this duck, and I think we all kind of realized what it was at the last moment. It was right up in front, and I ended up shooting that one and getting her done, and that was the sea ducks. That was pretty cool because we went to Kodiak Island and shot some sea ducks. We did not shoot one of those.
There's the one scoter we didn't shoot.
Yeah. So to shoot that in Minnesota was pretty neat.
It's neat. A few years back, I shot a Midwest Outdoors TV show with Greg Jones, duck hunting, and we simply went out on 4 Mile Bay. So we just went out of Wheeler's Point access. We went out on 4 Mile Bay. It was dark out, so you have flashlights. You think you know where you're at. And we go out and just anchored up. We had a 16-foot lund, and we just anchored that up just inside a reed patch, and put our ducks out in 2 groups out front. And it was just one of those days where the ducks were coming across Big Traverse Bay in small flocks. And when they come in those small flocks, naturally they'd be attracted by the great big flock of ducks that's rafted out in the middle of 4 Mile Bay, right? But every once in a while when they come across, you'd get their attention, and they'd swing on through before they headed out to the middle of 4 Mile Bay. And we had consistent shooting until we quit at about probably 9:30 or 10 in the morning. We had plenty of ducks, and I've had some really good shoots. And if you remember some of the Aglow conferences we've had down there, there's been people that have come that have been really avid duck hunters, and they simply look at their Onyx hunt maps and stuff, and they look at the water opportunities and where public access is to water, and because water is public, and they would hunt some of the smaller bays and ditches and things like that coming off of Lake of the Woods and put decoys out. 4 Mile Bay is a good one. Zipple Bay, there's some good duck hunting in. Over by Swift Ditch, there's some good duck hunting. There's really, really, really good goose hunting around Lake of the Woods, almost world class, I would say. The challenge is that a lot of that goose hunting happens in fields, and fields are private. They're locked up by, a handful of farmers, and, naturally there's friends and family of those farmers that, hunt, so they don't often give permission to just somebody knocking on a door, when there was 100 different farms instead of 10, back in the day, and you could go knock doors. But now with that being said, I know some guys that will target the Canadian geese on the water. Again, that's public, and it's a little bit tougher to pattern them. I think, Bret, you could speak to that better than I, but they still have some success. So there are nice waterfall opportunities on the water, but I think that's probably more geared towards ducks than geese. Hey?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely hard to get on up there, and but that's just kind of the way it works. But there are some guide services you can reach out to that can get you on some of those opportunities as well, and of course, lots of places to stay, and probably lots of lodging available this time of year as well. As the fishing season is the open water season is kind of winding down. We're in that transition, like you talked about, Joe. And if
when you say winding down, Bret, out of fairness, it's winding down simply because kids are back to school. People are they're watching football. They're going hunting. Fishing's on frickin' fire. And I will say this: a lot of the guys and gals that come up hunting, whether it's waterfowl or grouse, a lot of times they'll make it a cast and blast trip. Well, they'll jump on a charter for a day. Maybe they'll jump on a charter for a half a day if they work it out with a resort, or maybe they'll bring their own boat and they'll duck hunt in the morning and fish the rest of the day. I know you guys actually did that with Forrest and Andy, and you guys got a bunch of fish, didn't you?
Yeah, the fishing was stupid. Yeah, we caught all the walleyes we wanted. We brought home a limit, or ate some fish. I can't remember. I think we ate some fish.
We ate a ton of fish. I remember that because we fried them up, and Forrest was looking at us like, "You guys are really gonna eat all those?" Hold my beer, Forrest.
We caught smallmouth. We caught perch. We caught
muskie.
Yeah, Andy caught a muskie jigging for walleyes up there. So it was a lot of fun, and it's definitely a destination worth hitting in the fall, or if you want to start thinking about a winter trip through the ice. Joe, what should people do for more information?
You know what? Everything's on our website, and that is Lake of the Woods, MN.com. FishHuntForever.com.
Thanks for listening to the Fish Hunt Forever show. Download the Fish Hunt Forever podcast wherever you get podcasts or watch on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel. If you like today's show, please give us a 5-star review. Find past shows, articles, news about regulations, and more at FishHuntForever.com.